Hey, everybody, and welcome to this emergency Twitter space with some folks from the Polkadot Blockchain Academy, which is now underway, this time at Berkeley in California. We have Pauline Cohen-Worms, Head of Education at Parity, Alan Seped, VP of Blockchain Engineering at PureStake, they built Moonbeam, and Graham Fox, who's an alumni of the Academy and the co-founder of the Societal Project, which currently has a $38,000 dot spend proposal passing in OpenGov with 9 days left. Everyone, welcome to the Kusumarian.
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Hey, awesome. Alan, you're in here too?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man. And Pauline, you there?
Okay, perfect.
Yes, hi everyone.
Hey, welcome everybody to the show. Really happy to have you here. This story of training people to build Polkadot, I think, is really rich. We're going to be bringing the Kus cameras to Berkeley at the end of the Academy early next month to capture some of that. But Graham, because you're an alumni, I'm wondering if you could tell us what you were doing with your life, with your skills in the months before you made the decision to join the Academy.
Thanks for having me on the Spaces. It's a pleasure to be here and talk about the Academy. Yeah, and before the Academy, I was working at a previous Polkadot project. We're building and working in the Polkadot ecosystem, building out our own privacy parachain, trying to implement functional encryption. That's a new privacy method to go along with zero knowledge proofs and trust execution environments. But I had this idea about building a DAO or community focused parachain and starting up a new project to do that. So, the months before I applied to the Polkadot Blockchain Academy, we are in the process of starting up Societal, which is its own parachain for the creation and management of DAOs and internet native communities, writing out the white paper for that and really setting up the organization. So at the point in time when I saw the Polkadot Blockchain Academy come up and the time to apply, I thought it was the perfect opportunity to be able to do that, to hone and refine my skills in substrate development and building in the Polkadot ecosystem. And so applied to the Academy essentially with the white paper for Societal and with the idea for Societal and showing essentially saying that this is the project that I want to build and how the Academy would be the perfect kickstart to actually building out that product and that company.
That's amazing. And what were the first few days like when you got there? What are the current students probably experiencing right now?
Yeah, it's a lot of excitement when you first get there, right? It's we had our Polkadot Blockchain Academy at Cambridge University in the UK there, so it's exciting. We were staying in the dorms while we were there, kind of like going back to school, meeting all your initial classmates, meeting everyone from Parity and the Web3 Foundation, and there's a lot of energy behind it. You're excited to be there. You went through a tough application process to get in, and now you're in a foreign place, and you just know that this is going to be the next kind of 5-6 weeks of your life, and you're there ready to learn, and be excited about that. So again, being at Cambridge University, it was cool being in the old dorms and being in the old school environment and walking through that campus, something that you don't really get to an experience to do. And the same would be for, the students now at Berkeley, being at Berkeley University, studying there, being there for the next 5 weeks. It's exciting. It's fun. And the Parity and the Web3 Foundation team do a great job at making it fun for the students and exciting for the students as well. So they must be going through a lot of that right now.
That's fantastic. Pauline, how is the vibe at Berkeley? How's the atmosphere at the beginning of the Academy this time?
It's incredible, actually. So we're just starting the second day of the program. Students are going deeper into the first module of cryptography. Yesterday, we welcomed them and they started meeting their cohorts, the other students in the wave. We have we are short of 75 students. We have 73, I think, today on site, still waiting for the few latecomers. And for the first time, we have developers, aspiring core developers coming to the program, but also for the first time we have some technical founders, a bit of the same profile as Graham, coming on and hoping to receive their technical education before launching their projects on Polkadot. So the energy is really beautiful on site today. Everyone is grateful to be here, grateful to be at UC Berkeley as well, and just getting acquainted with everyone and the material.
Beautiful. And this is the third one, is that right?
That's correct. It's incredible, but we're already launching the third wave 1 year exactly after launching the first one at University of Cambridge, and after doing a second wave last January at the University of Buenos Aires, we've just kicked off the third wave yesterday.
Great. So could you tell us a little bit about how the curriculum has evolved since that first one in Cambridge last year?
Sure. The first one in Cambridge last year was a pilot that went actually exceptionally well compared to our expectations. We did see that some of the curriculum worked, but a lot of it needed some slight tweaking or editing, to say the least. But the general vision is still aligned. The academic point of view, I want to say, is still very similar to what we had in Cambridge, starting with first principle, getting into cryptography, economic principle, not even mentioning blockchain as a start, and then gradually going deeper into blockchain and, of course, Polkadot. But since the last wave, over the last 12 months, we've done many iteration on the content, also as the technology has evolved. As you may know, we're also covering, so some of the modules are pretty fixed already, and cryptography is not evolving that much, or economic principle is pretty set. But some of the technology and the modules we're covering are evolving. And for example, XCM, or when we're talking about block space, those concepts have evolved, and the technology underlying has evolved a lot over the last 12 years. So we are doing curriculum update before each wave. We're also working quite closely with the ecosystem, so getting the inputs from our parachains founders, as well as the technology teams, obviously, in all those projects, to try to also incorporate what are the developments they are working on, and making sure our curriculum is reflective of where Polkadot technology is and where the parachains projects are at the moment.
Nice. Yeah. Alan, maybe you could speak to that a little bit. How do parachains and established projects kind of slot into an academy like this?
Well, I mean, for us, it's been a great experience. Well, especially for me, because when I went to the academy, it was mostly for the parties. But yeah, in terms of also learning and being able to find new people to join the team, that was really great. I think definitely it's something that I would have enjoyed also when I started to study Substrate. I think it was a year before the first academy, so I spent pretty much that year to learn, about Substrate, about how to build a parachain, what it meant, and this kind of things. So I wish they had the academy, earlier, a few years before. But yeah, I think it's great. Every time now we send someone from the protocol dev team from Moonbeam to participate, because we feel that at the same time we learn from it, but also it's important that we share what we learn over the time, especially from the parachain point of view, because I think many of the people, especially in the first academy, were from Parity, and they had a very strong knowledge about what they built, about the framework, about the relay. But I felt like they were not in the shoes of a parachain, of like a small team trying to build something new without all the knowledge they had and everything. So that's why we always try to send someone to participate and teach to the alumni there.
Have you guys actually ended up hiring anybody from the academy or working with anybody who was in the academy?
Yes, definitely. I think that's a great part of the academy, is to be able to find someone at the end who's got this kind of very strong training to be able to join the team quickly. Because as I said, for me, it took me like a year to be able to understand Substrate enough to build something concrete out of it. And now that when you get someone from the academy, like we have people in the team, they join, and within a week, they're already able to participate in the code because they already know like all the important part of Substrate and they understand also the mechanics behind, the relay, the parachains, the economy around it, and a lot of those things. So it's great to find new people for your team, and I think it's also great if you have new people and you want to kind of make a fast and strong training for them to be able to use Substrate and participate in Polkadot right after.
Brilliant. So you're saying you actually send people into the academy that you want to work with, just to give them a primer, right?
Well, I send them to teach and learn at the same time, so I'm doing a bit of a trick here. But I would suggest for teams that didn't have or that don't have, a lot of training experience in Substrate to do that. In our case, we started Moonbeam like a year before the first academy, and we already got I think a team of 5 or 6 with good knowledge of Substrate. So we didn't send them as candidates, but we hired directly from the academy. Yes.
Amazing. Graham, I'm going to throw it back to you because you didn't get hired. You had this vision of building a project before you went in. Can you speak to any specific things you learned that benefited you professionally or personally at the academy that maybe you couldn't have done without while building Societal?
Yeah, definitely. I think it really stems from learning the foundational blocks and core development of blockchain development at whole, very what development is and computer science is very good at abstracting away concepts, and so you can understand blockchains and this idea of a decentralized ledger from a high level point of view pretty easily, but really getting into the underlying foundations of cryptography, game theory, economics behind blockchains, stuff that you really wouldn't learn about when you're actually just coding and learning Rust and learning Substrate, but those foundational characteristics about it were very important and stuff that we still kind of use today in understanding what we're doing and what we're building, and then getting into the Substrate development in itself, right? You're there with Parity, the Web3 Foundation teaching you and hands-on learning experience, right? In this decentralized world that we build in crypto and in blockchains and Web3, you don't have someone always there right beside you, right? To actually work with other students in this collaborative environment and get immediate feedback and just have that feedback loop, iteration process go so quickly and get that help right there. So it's a completely different environment learning hands-on in a classroom lecture like that than it would be just going through the tutorials online.
I think it's very important. Yeah, the feedback loop that you get from there, it's amazing. Having someone who already knows very well the framework and having the motivation to work with that framework or without all that knowledge and being able to get answers right away, it's amazing how it helps and how much you can achieve with that. Yeah, definitely agree.
Yeah, exactly right. It's something that take you a couple days a week to figure out. If you're running into an error, you can get it solved right away and have someone show you the steps and their thinking process as well behind it without just finding out the answer.
Okay, so you have the human network you create, obviously the unique education about Substrate. Pauline, is there something else about the Academy that is provided to aspiring blockchain engineers that really sets it apart from other programs from your point of view?
Yes, so the community obviously is that both Graham and Alan referred to is something very specific. I think it comes also from the fact that from two aspects. One, this is one of the only in-person blockchain program that brings so many talented people together, including having the students in a classroom together with the experts for 5 weeks is pretty outstanding, and allow them to get access to the knowledge and access to the experts and build their network for when they're ready to explore for career opportunities, for joining projects, or for starting their own. They already have a network of experts. Even after the academy, they know who to direct their questions to, and have that network of experts to start with, which makes them gain a lot of time. And as Alan mentioned, this is something that didn't exist before, and I'm not aware of other network investing so much. I think also there's something outstanding with the Academy in the fact that we're bringing the builders on stage. A lot of, we took the choice, we had the point of view of creating an academic program, not a fully vocational one, really an intensive and hard academic program that slowly brings the students into the applied aspect of blockchain and Polkadot. But we also took the position of bringing the expert, those who are building the protocol, those who are building the projects on stage, instead of hiring professional teachers and faculty. And this was also with the it was motivated by the fact that we knew the technology was constantly evolving, and we wanted the curriculum to be up to date as much as possible. So bringing those who are building it on stage to share their knowledge was crucial. But we also wanted to allow the student to have the direct contact and have the opportunity to ask questions and challenge sometimes those who are building the technology and create this network coming forward. So I think having the luxury of spending 5 weeks in a classroom with their peers and creating their network of peers, and also with the experts, plus having that direct connection that lasts beyond the academy is something that sets the academy apart.
I think
beautiful. Yeah, go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, if I can add a little comment, because I totally agree with the quality of the academy. Because yeah, I just like a friend of mine recently took a course of like blockchain and crypto in a well-known school online, and there's definitely no comparison with the academy. Like what you get at the academy, the proximity, the fact that you can ask questions and definitely build something right away. Like, yeah, people that got out of the at the end of the academy, they end up with like a lot more practical skills and the ability to build something right away. They have usually better understanding, and yeah, definitely that's great. And for the networking part too, because as Pauline mentioned, we also keep contact with each other, and it's often that you know, I get people that I met at the academy or that know about me from the academy or from that network. We keep contact, and we keep doing meetings where we help each other, you know, sharing what we do, how we do things, even if like we're not working directly together, we're not directly partners as parachains, but the fact that all the parachains try to build a big community and big, you know, ecosystem, the fact of having that network is very helping each other at the end of the day.
Beautiful. And speaking of network, I see Polka House in the chat here. I know they co-hosted the opening ceremonies with Nodal Network. How were the opening ceremonies?
We haven't had it yet, actually. We're going to have it on Friday, celebrating the first week. So I'll be able to update you in a few days. But we're very grateful and looking forward, actually, to the opportunity to host our students, to celebrate the first week of learning, hopefully to celebrate a successful first assignment after the crypto module and cryptography modules are. And very grateful for Nodal and Polka House for hosting the incoming party.
All right, so we'll stay tuned for stories from that. Graham, if for any of the new students listening to this now, do you have any advice for them? Anything they should be keeping on their mind over this time while they learn at the Blockchain Academy?
Yeah, definitely. I had some students that were going into the academy reach out to me and talk to me, and I've said this a few times, but you know, ideally they brushed up on their Rust programming language and skills beforehand and did a lot of pre-reading, because as Pauline said, it is an intensive program. It is a lot of work, you know, classes, lectures all day long, and then assignments during the evenings, and you know, extra office hours and working hours after classes in the evenings as well. And so it is a jam-packed schedule, and you know, 5 weeks that they will have there, but just to be open-minded and to ask a lot of questions. If you don't know something, to, you know, ask and say. Everyone's there to really help you out and really help out your development and your education. And just with having so many students and people teaching you around, be vocal and participate. And you're going to get so much more out of it if you do. And just don't just sit there idle. Just, yeah, be engaging and take charge.
Awesome. Well, we wish all of the students best of luck over the coming weeks. Like I said, the Kusumarian will be there at the beginning of next month. But this was a really great intro to what's going on there. I want to thank you all very much for coming on to this emergency Twitter space. And also wanted to give a quick shout out to Alexandra, the community and comms manager for the Academy, for getting us involved and inviting the Kusumarian there. Really looking forward to sharing this story with a broader audience. So thanks very much for coming up, everybody.
Perfect. Thanks for having us. It's great.
Have a good day.